This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 320.
I program my home computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. We have the technology. Why, hello everybody, this is Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, upcoming events. We have a couple to talk about, actually. We have WordCamp Santa Clarita is now online. It was supposed to be this weekend that I'm recording this episode, like right now. Was that right? Or was it last weekend? I don't remember now. It's kind of tough to remember. No, it was last weekend. It's supposed to be last weekend. Anyway, but it was canceled, obviously. It's now online, and it's next weekend. It's over at 2020.santaclarita.wordcamp.org. It's going to be pretty cool. It's free. So, you can always just register and go. It's simple as that, really, right? So check that out. Also, I guess that's in the news. We'll put that to the news as far as the event goes. The next one. The next thing I want to mention to you as far as upcoming events is LifterLMS is actually having a 4-day challenge to build a site. It starts the day this episode comes out, if I'm not mistaken. So it's free. It looks pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, it starts on Tuesday, April 14th. So the day after this episode drops through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Day 1 and 2 is learning. Day 3 and 4 is a course prototyping and testing. So literally create a learning management a course to sell online. If you want to sell it, you don't have to, in 4 days. It's kind of a design sprint challenge. Pretty cool. So I'll link to that in the show notes. Actually, it's over at lifterlms.com/4-day-challenge if you want to check that out. I might sign up for that. It should be pretty interesting. I have an idea for a course. Stay tuned. I have lots of ideas. All right. Is that it for upcoming events? That is it for upcoming events. Moving on to in the news, Yoast is coming out with a new version. They've announced version 14.0 is due out. Does it have a date on it yet? I don't know if there's an actual date, but they did mention it in their blog. I'll link to that in the show notes as well. Apparently, a lot of things are changing. If you're a Yoast user, they're moving all their metadata from WP Post Meta to custom tables. This will be better for efficient queries. They're using, what else? The API is changing. Front-end architecture now using dependency injection from Symfony, etc. So a lot of changes are coming. Here, April 28th. That's the scheduled release date. So there you go. Okay, the last thing in the news is, this was mentioned over, where did I see this? I don't know where I saw this, but WordCamp Europe is moving online this summer. So it's going to actually hold the event June 4th through 6th. They postponed it for a while for the physical, because of COVID-19 pandemic, but it's now going to be online. So link to that in the show notes as well. So I think that is it in the news. Anything else? Yes, that is it in the news. So moving on to the meat potatoes of this week's episode, we are talking once again about other CMSs, alternatives to WordPress, as crazy as that may sound. This week, I reviewed and I checked out Weebly. Last month, I checked out Squarespace. I'm going to do Weebly. And there's, I got one a month moving for the rest of this year. So of course, I went over to the website and they signed up for the free trial. And this is just, the 30,000-foot view of me trying this out and seeing how it went and my experience with it, etc. So signed up, gave them an email address, no credit card needed. Typical standard way of doing things these days, which was nice on one aspect. First, then presented with the request to select a theme right off the bat. Just boom, select a theme. As far as onboarding goes. So the onboarding was just right there. My options were categorized based on business, portfolio, personal, event, blog, coming soon, or other. Each one of those categories had about 6 sample sites within each one of them. Clicking them showed me a preview of what it would look like. So I looked for all of them, and I didn't see one in the category of real estate like I did over at Squarespace, because I'm going to be consistent when I'm trying to build the same type of site for a friend of mine who's a real estate agent here in town, working with him anyway. So I'm like, I'll just use him as my guinea pig for the idea of what to build. So I didn't see one for real estate. So I did a quick little test where I Googled in a different window, Weebly real estate. And I found a theme that was called Weebly Cloud for real estate. I don't know what that was exactly. And then I found something else called Friendly Realtor. But I didn't see the Friendly Realtor theme inside of what I could choose. So it was weird. Anyway, so I went back to the window at hand and I selected business and I selected the one called Pathway as far as the theme I was going to work with. Once I did that, it takes you to the next screen and you're given, options to pick a domain name. And the options there were transfer domain, and it's free if you could transfer domain in. You can get a new domain, which was free with a 1-year plan, or you could use a free domain with a .weebly.com in the URL, kind of like how you can use .wordpress.com in the URL for a free WordPress site as well. So I went with a free one for this test. I didn't need to create a new domain or bring one in. So there you go. So I did that. You cannot get past that step, by the way. You have to make a choice. So, and you can upgrade later. I will mention that. So if you want the free one to start, you can then actually upgrade to an actual domain if you don't have one just yet at a later time. So once I selected that, I then saw the template that I selected in front and center. And on the left side were all the areas I could change. Title, text, image, gallery, slideshow, map, what else? Newsletter form, all of those things and areas you can put into the page itself, as well as settings. A lot of different settings there. Everything had subsettings and subcategories. On the top, there were build, pages, theme, apps, settings, help, and then an icon that didn't tell you what it did, or there was no tooltip on it that I could see, but you click on it and it's a drop down so you can view the site in mobile, which I thought, okay, that makes sense. You want to be able to do that. So I selected the theme settings on the far left. Standard options were colors, light versus dark, and then other color swatches. You can also, within the theme setting, change the theme, change the fonts, and have theme options. I dove a little further into changing the theme because I wanted to see if I could find that real estate one. I thought that would just save me a lot of time. And the options were all recently used and custom options. The top right corner of that same page was import theme. So I thought that was just interesting. I clicked it and it showed me that I could upload my own theme, and it gave me the theme format details. So you can actually upload your a theme that you might have built somewhere else in a zip format. You have to have the index.html, you have to have a main_style.css, image files associated with your theme have to be there. So everything has to be there, but you can import a pre-designed theme from somewhere else. I didn't try that. I just want to see what does it give me. So I thought that was interesting. I wanted to mention it here. So as I had the other real estate Google search still open in another tab, I went back to that for a second, and I had the option right there because it knew I was logged in. Both pages now can see me as logged in from the new account that I just created. So I could say, hey, add that to my account. And I did. So then it said, which site do you want to attach that to? And I picked one. And boom, a second later, I had that theme now overwrote my old theme, the one I picked originally. So what I realized, though, was that some of the pages contain sections. I'm sorry. The pages contain sections. So it tells you, hey, you're going to change the theme. It's going to change your sections within that page. That's right. I have myself a note here. I forgot how that was. I confirmed that. And then it went ahead and overrode everything. The first thing I noticed was, and this is the reason why I think I can't find it in the current offerings, is that the site is old. It looks really old. It's full screen, full width, but it comes with that like center column look with the drop shadow and the rounded edges around the side. Very mid 2000s. It's a 10-year-old design, and that's probably why it wasn't available in the front end from when you first picked, because it's there. You can get it if you really want it and then modify it if you really want to do that. But it's an old design. Stylistically, it just wasn't good. So I changed it back to something more modern. I kept the old content. I went through the overall process of building out the site like I did over at Squarespace. Simple enough. And I did notice, actually, what was interesting, I accidentally clicked on an area that said Code Editor, and you can still import your other themes and code there as well. And in moving things around and adding different content areas, and I'm going to call them blocks of things, if you will, map, newsletter form, I added video from YouTube, as a test, whatnot. You can't, it had to be a URL, live URL somewhere else. I noticed it reminded me a lot of Beaver Builder with content blocks, and it also reminded me a lot of the new Gutenberg editor as well. Moving things around wasn't so hard, but really does remind me a lot of my page builder of choice, which is Beaver Builder. So, I don't know if there was a lot of settings, a lot more choices if you want to dive deeper into it. And it's a free level of something I was doing with. So of course there's pricing here. If you want to upgrade, you can upgrade for up to $6 $12 a month, $26 a month, and those things get you different packages, different levels. For example, I'll just see if let me zoom in on this real quick here, if I can. $6 a month, you get a custom domain. And this is if you build annually, $9 a month to month, $12, etc. You get custom domain. You get no square branding on ads. If you pay $26 a month, you get like a whole shipping solution, more e-commerce, etc. So again, the functionality is there. Squarespace had some great functionality and some, interface. I think their onboarding was a little bit nicer if I had to choose truly, just because it kind of guided you through. Whereas Weebly just, boom, here you go. You're on your own completely from the get-go. Yes, it's hosted, it's managed in that sense, but there was no real sense of onboarding and showing you where things were. You really have to figure it out on your own. So am I leaving anytime soon? Once again, the answer is no. But I just want to share with you that there are other options out there. If you know of clients, if you do client work and you know someone who just really wants to do it themselves and save the development money, if you will, maybe send them to Weebly, send them to Squarespace. I have actually sent people to Squarespace in last year because they were not a good fit for WordPress, in my opinion, or they didn't have the budget to have us build them a site and maintain it. So, in their mind, they didn't have the budget at least. So there you have it. All right, so that was Weebly in a nutshell. Next month, I think next month I'll probably do Wix. And then from there, we're going to spin off into some other CMSs that you probably may never have heard of, but are actually pretty big out there. I am keeping a list of them. So if you know of any, by all means, send me one or two, and I'll take a look at them as well, and we can talk about them. So, all right, moving on to Tip and Tool of the Week. There is a book I wanted to mention. It's currently free. It's from the Take Control books series. This one is Take Control of Working from Home Temporarily. It's by Glenn Fleischman and Jeff Carlson. I heard about this on a podcast. Currently free. It's over at takecontrolbooks.com/workingfromhome with dashes in the words there. I'll link to it in the show notes. I have no connection to them at all. I heard about it, like I said, and because of the times we are in, I thought it'd be kind of a cool thing to share. So there you go. All right, let me wrap it up. If you have any questions, go ahead, send it in via email, adam@KitchensinkWP.com, or use the speak pipe function on the website. If you want to support the show, that'd be awesome. Really would be right now. Become a Patreon, KitchensinkWP.com/Patreon. You could sponsor the show too, form on the website. That'd also be very cool. Thank you for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. See you next week. Bye-bye.